Om Tat Sat. Now, today's episode, we will be discussing about the primary steps of yoga. First of all, in our spiritual talk program, we would try to define what does this yoga mean, what is spiritual living. Spiritual living is not necessarily an ascetic living. That means renunciation externally, wearing saffron clad, walking on barefoot, sacrificing every daily good meals, good dresses, and living as an hermit. That's not what spiritual life I would be telling to you. Spiritual, the word spiritual is basically a Western word coming down, if you look into the dictionary of it, coming down from spirit, the Holy Spirit that the Christianity defined. But now in course of time, the spirituality has been derived as an alternative word of adhyatmic. That means the practical side of religion, not the ritualistic side, not the taboos, not the practices externally, putting lamp, camphor lamp, lighting camphor lamp, making arati, offering flowers to a deity. These are all obviously attached to a religious practice. But spirituality is the core of all religion. The religious belief that we practice internally and manifest in our human life. So first of all, we must fix the goal of our spirituality. Then we'll go to yoga. The goal of our spirituality is something that varies from one man to other. It is not as same as to all. All people having a common spiritual trait is next to impossible. Yoga is also the same. All people practicing same yogic exercises, same pattern of pranayama, breathing exercises, same pattern of mudras, baddhas. There are common things, but starting with the same routine, same syllabus is not what you can practice. Because every human structure differs from one another. Every human being's mind, intellect, habits differ from one another. So, spirituality with having a common framework for all. When comes to the point of implementation, it is obviously customized. It varies from one person to another. What we will be preaching here is the common theme. You have to customize yourself. And if we have to customize ourselves, our teachers, experts, by our experts, then obviously you have to approach us virtually or physically. So let us start the spiritual object of life. The spiritual object of life is to enrich oneself for earthly living, living at the mento-intellectual level, and living for God, surrendering to God, identifying oneself with Brahman. First of all, Sanatan Dharma, the Hindu spirituality, you have to understand, widely differs from Christianity, from Islam, because there God has a separate existence that comes into help to you, that gives mercy to you, that gives alms to you, that gives respite to you, that gives boons to you, that gives happiness to you, and equally the opposite antonyms: sorrow, delusions, problems. These are all the grants of the God. But in Sanatan Dharma, in Hinduism, everything depends, or rather mostly everything depends on yourself. How do you think? How do you work? How do you practice? How do you live? Precisely your lifestyle will make you determine what type of life you will be enduring, what type of happiness, sorrow, grants you will be getting. And this is not only dependent on the life you are living, but the chain of life you have already lived. When Arjun in Bhagavad Gita was faced with a serious dilemma, he was asking the Lord, what's the use of killing these people, begetting sorrows, own relations, relatives, parents, grandparents. Bhagwan was very clear to answer in a very articulate manner. Asochana sochasto pragyavadam sabhasase. You are thinking of what which need not be thought by you. Gatasuna gatasunascha nanu sochanti pandita. One who is a pandit, that means one who is a self-liberated, a Brahman, who knows, he doesn't have to bother who lived and who left. This is all because the transientness of human body.